All right, next mailbag question here. Let's check it out. We have from Chris Miller. In the past, I've always user-controlled defensive ends, but I've decided this is the year I learned user control of other defensive players. Where do I begin? Do you suggest linebacker or safety, and why? Let's take a look at this one on the PlayStation 3. Again, the key to this tip here is learning to start with a linebacker and eventually getting to the safety.
Correct.
It's not necessarily the position you want to worry about. It's the area of the field.
Correct.
The more space you have to cover, the more you can do versus what a computer defender can do. If you're going to blitz, maybe set up a blitz, show where you know you're weak. Right. And teach people how to use the halfback. So, I think that's the key right now.
So, I mean, we'll start off with a two-man under, right? So, basic two-man under, say I'm setting up a blitz, and this isn't really even a real blitz. I'm just showing you what this looks like, right? So, for example, if we're playing two-man under, we're sending pressure off the left edge, you'll notice that the left side of the field, all of our receivers are alone on the island over there. So, we take a look at this, and if we want to send pressure off that left edge, we want to try best possible we can to roll coverage off that weak side. So say we drop a purple zone off the right side. So now this example, we're controlling the defender covering the halfback. Now what we're thinking here is if the halfback is going to stay in and block, that's fine. Then we have an extra defender we can roam in coverage with, correct?
Yep.
If he goes out on a route today to the right side of the field on a flat pattern, well, we dropped a flat zone or a buzz zone over that right side, which will defend against that flat pattern. So what we like to do is we like to user kind of over in this area. We want to defend where our blitz is, because what's the number one rule about attacking a blitz? You throw where the blitz is coming from. Why? Because there's no defenders coming from that area, because that's where the blitz is coming from. Makes perfect sense. So you want to try and user control that area, knowing that your opponent is thinking that, right? You gotta make sure you think that your opponent knows more than you do about the game, and then you want to user control that area. So Falls, I don't know if that blitz is going to come in, but snap, go ahead.
Yeah.
And now he's running the streak. Okay, I see that. I got to go out and defend him. I have to follow that.
But I eventually get into the area of the safety.
Right.
I'm going to block it here just to show it. But the key is, so he could either user the deep safety to the right, but then if he does, mess up and Chung doesn't get deep like he did against Mario Manningham in the Super Bowl where Hernandez on the sideline
Easy.
Then you are going to risk a bigger play. If you miss with Mayo and you end up just letting out a flat to the halfback, you've already got a zone there, or you can also just help get deep with with Lloyd. The key is you'll see, great players do it all the time. It's just more about the area of the field. Start with guys on hook zones, though. If you are new, guys, don't be afraid to hold X on Xbox, A on PlayStation 3
the other way around.
X on PlayStation 3, A on Xbox to make sure you use defensive assist. Defensive assist is
huge.
Awesome. It's gonna lock you. If you're using the halfback on a streak, right? Man him up.
Yeah.
Mayo. So say you're gonna have to run with Jeff Demps. Tough task, right?
Watch this. Hold X. I'm not doing anything.
You're gonna follow his direction. Right. So obviously you have a speed disadvantage, but you're gonna follow his route, follow his direction. Depending on where you're going, you're gonna track to the running back. The other big thing is it's great for run defense.
Right.
And lastly, the big thing about using another player is this year with ball hawk, it's a lot easier to control a defender and go up for interceptions. Before, it really took elite skills to be able to hold L2 to strafe and hold triangle or hold Y. It was tough. I mean, it took a lot of reps, a lot of practice, 100 before you went to bed every night, and you could do it. But if you weren't quite there yet and you were getting beat by guys clicking on, this year you're going to have a lot of help, and it's going to really be easier to do with ball hawk. So don't be afraid. This is the year you got to get off the defensive line. It's just not going to take your game to where you need to be. Nobody at these challenges. And, it's fun to rush every now and then in the D end, and it's tough to kind of use your one sometimes, depending, and switch it up. Because, a big tell can be, okay, every time he blitzes from the left, he's using a guy behind it. So you don't necessarily want to always use the same guy. But like I said, it's not necessarily about position. It's about coverages and where on the field. But I'd start with the middle linebacker, yellow zones. You minimize damage, and then you move back to the safety, depending on, what type of plays you like.
I want to show this real quick, Farles. I think this is important. We showed the cover, the two-man under, and I want to show what it would look like if we played from zone. So a lot of times what you're going to see in zone coverage is the following. You'll have two high safeties. If you play cover 3, it's a good starting point for you guys that want to play zone. Again, Farles was saying cover and use your guy that's in a hook zone. Absolutely. Usually the strong safety. He's a little faster than linebacker. You're going to be able to make a little bit more plays with that extra speed. And you're going to user control him in that hook zone. And just remember, you aren't going to hurt your defense that much by controlling hook zone. A hook zone is only controlling a little short, small box on the field. Where I tell you you'd be making a big mistake is if you're using a deep safety. This is where, when you get advanced...
call Arrington and bring him, just mess up.
When you get advanced, you're going to user control the deep free safety, and what's going to happen is you'll see
that was literally where you should have been standing.
Yeah, but you're going to see the difference it makes by using that deep free safety, because here's what happens: you use the deep safety, you play up in the box at the snap of the ball, and if there's no deep patterns, you just add an extra defender in the short middle. You see a deep pattern, you recover deep. And as you can see there,
you ball hawk so hard.
And I'm telling you right now, you jump, take the short routes away, and if you see a deep route, you recover. But we'll save that for another day. You're a starter today. You are a tourney player tomorrow. That's what we're going to get you at.
Good stuff. Good stuff.